Uh, Love for me means unconditional affection, unconditional service, unconditional kindness, where you express these things towards individuals, especially individuals who need it. If you love me and I love you, that's good, but true love is loving those who might be not so good, um, being able to forgive and to pardon and to support those who may not always agree with you, or who may not share your ideologies, or who may not share your worldviews, who may not look like you, who may be of different backgrounds than you might be, but to love that individual. And that doesn't mean that we have to love what they do, but love the individual. And the Bible tells us there's not too much profit in loving somebody who already loves you back, but the profit that we really gain, the spiritual profit that we really gain, is loving the unlovable. Can you love someone that dislikes you? When Christ was crucified on the cross, he told his Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that shows a great unconditional love that he has for individuals who spit on him, beat him, crucified him, and yet he said, Daddy, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And that's love. That's a tremendous example of how Christ can pardon the sin of mankind, but love the individual. And so that's love.
You practice love for? How do you show
patience? Because sometimes, people can do some, bad things, say some bad things that you may not agree with, or some bad things that are done that you might be hurt. You feel hurt, certain negative feelings about, but to be patient with that individual, like God has been patient with us. I can always remind myself when I get angry or when I get upset over maybe things that are done to me, about how God was patient with me, when I got saved, and how it took, a maturation process for me to get to where I am now. And some people aren't going to arrive like that in terms of having the maturity to forgive, to be patient, to be supportive, to be, very kind in the midst of adversity. And so, I try to express a lot of patience. I try to be very supportive of individuals. That's one way to show love. Love is action. The Bible speaks of, in the book of James, faith without works is dead. So I try to express love in action. And most of the time I'm trying to do that with patience and taking my time with individuals, and also being supportive of individuals, particularly individuals that have needs that I can attend to, whether that's supporting somebody on my job, supporting somebody who might be down and out in the community. We have a food service program that we do weekly at our church. So in a variety of ways, just making myself available to serve. When you listen to a lot of popular songs, when you Google love, you get billions of hits. And when you look at what the popular culture defines love as being, most often it's defined in a very sexual context. It's that eros love that they really underscore. But love is more than just having, physical sex with someone. But that's what you see the tendency to be, or the trend to be, in our culture when people talk about love. When you hear the love songs, it's usually talking about a physical intimacy. But love is more than just that. I mean, if love was just sex between, two individuals, when you take that away, what do you have? So, in my opinion, the love that the Bible speaks of incorporates that definition, that there is a sexual love, the eros, that the Bible speaks very blatantly about between a husband and wife, but that has been co-opted culturally to be acceptable beyond its definition biblically. So people tend to run with that sexual context and think that's love, and that's why I think we're misled by what is the real definition of love. Because love is about sacrifice, love is about patience, love is about being kind, love is about being honest. These are the virtues that God speaks of. And if you look in Galatians chapter 5, it talks about, what are the fruits of the Spirit of God. And those are some of the manifestations of what love would look like. God even defines himself in 1 John as he says, I am love. And so what does that look like? In I try to weigh, for me, am I doing what 1 Corinthians 13 tells us that love is defined as? Because that's a true biblical definition of what love is and what it is not. And it talks about that we can be juvenile in how we look at love. And that juvenile attitude is just thinking love is sexual. In 1 Corinthians 13 it says, when I was a kid, I did childish things, but now that I'm a man, or now that I'm an adult, I got to put away these childish ways of thinking, which is love is only sexual. That love is more than that. Love is sacrificial. Love is supportive. Love is full of action. Love is kind. Love is gentle. Can be stern. And it's incorporating much more than just the sexual. So I know that's a long roundabout way of me explaining, the society worldview versus, the biblical worldview. But it's a very deep question that you ask, and it deserves to be examined in a very introspective way. For me, love is about action. If I were to kind of just break it down to its least common denominator, it's about action, and it's about support, and it's kind, and it's something that you can tangibly feel in your spirit. Just how can I use my time, talents, and treasures to be a benefit to somebody else's life? And if somebody can take that attitude and run with it to say, each day I'm going to purpose in my heart to provide some cheer, some type of uplift, some type of inspiration of another life other than mine, I think that can be something a young person can walk away knowing that I fulfilled, an aspect of love according to the Bible. And that's something anybody can do, regardless of whether they have letters behind their name, regardless of income, regardless of ethnicity. That's something we all can do collectively.